Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. I'm your host, Jimmy Good, and joining me once again, 2 weeks in a row, is my sister, Katie. Katie, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
I'm just gonna move this. I'm already gonna move it over there, just because, you're more soft-spoken than I am. I'm a boisterous boy, you know? That's what they'd say. Anyway, hi everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us once again. Mm-hmm. If you watched last week's show, you know it was all about the pre-trip. Before we were heading out to Florida, the motherland, our home sweet home, besides our actual home. Anyway, but we haven't been to Walt Disney World actually, we were there about a little over a year ago. Yeah. And that's like the most we've gone, or you've gone, especially for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. I hadn't been to Disneyland or World for probably like 7 years. I think the last time before that was when we graduated from college.
Yes, it was 2013. And then you went in 2020 with us. Yep. I only went like a time or two before that with like Levi and stuff. Yeah. But anyway, so we went back down to Florida. We're going to talk about our trip here today, kind of go over a few things. And if there are any questions you guys have in the future, we will have vlogs coming out. A big shout out to Z, who is already like excited for all the vlogs. We're going to have vlogs of our days in the park. I have a room tour vlog for you. And then we also have some other dinner or dining vlogs. There was another room we stayed at over at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but we weren't staying on Savannah side, and it wasn't like anything crazy to show you guys. And to be honest with you, like the room was already like we were sleeping in the room before we had a chance to like film it. So I was like,
yeah, that's true.
I was like, it's all right, but it's okay because you're gonna get a room, one of the greatest rooms we've ever stayed at, only for one night. Yeah. Oh, it's hard. But anyway, thank you to our benefactor who allowed us to do these things.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. It was her mom. It was, with DVC points. Thanks, Mom. But anyway, so we're going to talk about our trip. We were there for a grand total of like 3.5 days, kind of 4-ish, if you look at it like that. We'll kind of run through it pretty quick. But our first day, we got there. We did a full day at Magic Kingdom.
Sure did.
And we did not do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. No.
We did not.
Okay, so the lines... We got there, and by the time we're recording this, they got rid of the mask mandate outside.
Yeah, that was actually very strange because we had gone on our trip in California. We went to Universal, actually, and you had to wear your mask pretty much everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So that was totally different. So the mask mandate was lifted. Anytime you're walking around, as long as you're not in a queue line or you're actually on a ride, you can take your mask off pretty much anywhere you're walking. So... it was interesting.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, we were both fully vaccinated. Yes. So if you're worried about that at all, do not be. We're also we were socially distant from everybody. I tried not to run up and greet people as I normally would. Like, hi, how you doing? Yeah. So maybe we'll talk about the Universal thing here at the end. But so we're there, Magic Kingdom, and a lot of the lines were outside. They seemed longer than they were, and they moved pretty quickly. Which I was telling Katie, I appreciated... like the fact that they did move quickly, but I'd rather walk in a straight line for like that period of time than the switchbacks.
I'd say those switchbacks.
Like Pirates of the Caribbean, I think might have been one of the worst ones because there's outside for a bit and then you go in that first little area and they have a bunch of switchbacks for you. Yeah. And it's tight corridors. Like it was, what was the tightest? There was one.
Animal Kingdom, when we went on safari, that was pretty brutal when you're waiting for the ride. Like in between.
Oh, to get in the actual vehicle. Okay, that's what I was like. There was one that was like super tight. But we did pretty much everything else at Magic Kingdom. We did all the mountains. Yep. Waited the longest I ever have at night for Splash Mountain.
I know, I was going to say we waited over 45 minutes, but it was worth it because we only went on it one time.
I want to go on it so many more times. I love Splash Mountain so much.
It was a pretty consistent wait the whole time we were there, I think. So.
And as Katie pointed out, she was really smart about this. I was thinking that maybe the craze had gone away because Splash Mountain's getting a retheme. I was thinking maybe there was going to be a chance that I could get some Splash Mountain merchandise, but that is all cleared out. The store is open, but there's nothing in there. And I was like... no.
Yeah, it's all gone.
Yeah, but we got in there Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, People Mover twice, I think, Carousel of Progress, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion. By the way, Haunted Mansion, I know people love the stretching room, and in Disneyland it is very necessary because it is an elevator to bring you underneath the railroad. At Disney World, they added it because they're like, well, if we don't have it, then people will be angry. But I'll say this. Haunted Mansion, for the most part, from what I understood, was like 10 minutes the entire time.
Yeah.
It made the efficiency of that ride so fast and it kind of ruins the beginning part because you're just like walking through the whole place, but everybody's hopping on.
I think it was kind of cool to see that, though, without having to wait for the pre-show. Like, you're just walking through and kind of seeing that. It does deter a little bit from the magic, like Jimmy was mentioning. Like, you're not getting that kind of theming. You're just walking through until you get on the ride. But like you said, it went by way faster because you're not waiting for chunks of people to get into a room and then have to wait again to get in another line. So
yeah. And also, we did do the Peter Pan like extended queue, and I don't remember if we did that last time or not, but it was kind of cool to go through the Darling House again.
It was cute. Yeah. It was cute. Yeah, that was nice because it was themed really well, and I think you kind of get lost in the theming, so you're not feeling like, oh, I'm in a line. Like, you're kind of enjoying and not necessarily interacting yourself, but you're seeing things happening in the rooms that you go through, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and once you get out of that area, it seemed like you're almost on the ride right away. At least the way they have it now. Yeah. We also did Small World, which Katie didn't really want to do, but I was like, we should do Small World. And it was like a 20-minute wait. That's why the longest I've ever waited for Small World.
It was good, though. It was fine.
It was fine. And then Winnie the Pooh, which was always great. Mm-hmm. Love Winnie. I'm trying to think of what else. Like, we didn't do Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise is also getting a re-theme right now. So the wait times for that were long the entire day.
Yeah.
And I used to be, like, the biggest Jungle Cruise fan
for sure
ever, and like was on there so much. I even got to steer the boat once, so it's pretty sweet. But and my mom says that I came up with the Shirley Temple joke towards the end that they've been using. I don't know, maybe. But we went to Skipper Canteen, so it's kind of like we got our Jungle Cruise fix.
Yeah, for sure.
Which we have a whole separate video that's coming out about our experience there at Skipper Canteen. But spoiler alert, it was pretty great.
Yeah, it was
I enjoyed
really
it.
Good.
Definitely something weird that you would not get at Magic Kingdom normally. Like,
no, absolutely. It was kind of like, I don't even know what theme it came up as African food.
Yeah, adventurous
food. But yeah, when I was looking at it on the Disney app, it showed up as African food, so I don't really know how else to describe it. I had curry. What did you have?
I had the New York strip steak.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so there's a little bit of mix of everything there. It was fun, and like Jimmy said, the theming in there, that was really cute. Yeah. I think that if you're going to be going there for, they had a decent kid menu as well, so I think everybody could enjoy something on the menu. It was fun though. I liked it a lot, and we got the secret menu item, the bread, which I can never pronounce the correct name. It's like Pudish something.
That one.
Yeah, but it was good. It was yummy.
Yeah. What else do we do? We didn't do Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. We didn't do Swiss Family Robinson. Treehouse. Sorry, guys.
We didn't do teacups.
But we did do Tiki Room.
We did do Tiki Room, and I actually think that was probably like one of my favorite things we did, because the last time we went on that ride, well, I guess it's not a ride, attraction, I was like, okay, it's super dated, but then I thought of all of the things that went into creating that, and then I was like, you know what, I totally get why people like this and go back to it, and why it's like kind of a cult classic kind of thing.
We also did Carousel Progress, which used to be your favorite, but maybe not so much anymore. I feel like I had to drag you on there. You were like, I don't know, the Carousel.
No, I still love it. I still like sitting down and going through the time.
There was something, I don't know, you wanted to do Mission Space this time more than you wanted to do Carousel Progress.
We didn't do it. I think the reason, and I was telling Jimmy, the reason I wanted to go on Mission Space is that I think this is one of the only times you're going to have the opportunity to go on there just with your group. If you're less than a party of 4 because of social distancing standards. Sure. So I was thinking, like, how cool would it be if you went on it just 1 or 2 people and, like, you're just the 2 of you kind of going on this mission together to space. So I think that's the only real reason I wanted to go on it. But the wait time for that was pretty consistent, which in the past when we've gone has never gone over, like, I want to say 25 minutes. Every time we'd look, I think it was like 35 or more.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really worth it. If you're going to wait that long, you may as well be waiting for Test Track, right?
Yeah, and that's over at Epcot. Sorry if we're confusing anybody because we were talking about Magic Kingdom, but I threw that in there, so that's my fault. But yeah, so I'm glad. I was like, we'll go back. We'll do it with 4 people. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say this. One of my favorite things that we did that I don't think I've done or haven't done since I was very, very small was the Country Bear Jamboree. Oh! Man, it's so good. Country Bear Jamboree. If somebody were to ask me now between, like, I think there's 4 different animatronic based stage show things that they have at Magic Kingdom, I'm probably picking Country Bear every time just for Big Al. All I want. That show is booking. It kind of reminds me of Muppets, where like there's like you've got your leader, and he's got like a whole bunch of people doing different things, but it's like it just moves. Everybody's got a little spiel. They come, they go. They come, they go. They're just like,
they're looking a little rough, to be fair, though. Like, there was a couple times the eyes were kind of like one eye was up and one was down, the eyelids. But I think that kind of brought more to the show just because it reminds us of, from the Goofy movie we were talking about.
Yeah, Lester's Possum Park. Yeah, Lester's Possum Park.
Now we're going to get this cut because of copyright music.
I remember Amanda Provost always says, don't you want to be hanging from a tree? We're mighty glad to see you where the parking's always free. There we go. That's for you, Amanda. She's not watching. Be amazing if she did. Amanda, if you're watching, please let us know. Amanda Provost.
It's so good.
So what I was going to say about that is that they, I think I could hear it with Melvin, Buff, and Max, which are like the buffalo, the moose, and the elk or the deer that are hanging heads on the wall. You can hear their eyelashes or like their eyelids clicking, clacking, kind of like in Tiki Room. Like you can kind of hear some of the like it's like click, 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 click.
Yeah, clickety, click, click.
I love it. I'm like, oh, it's so analog. But anyway, Country Bear Jamboree was excellent.
It was mint.
Yeah. Did we do Big Thunder twice?
Yeah, we did.
I think we did Big Thunder.
The switchbacks in that were a little tight.
The first we were there the first time in the beginning of the day, and we went like right on, and then later on the day, it's a little bit worse.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe 25 minutes max.
But Magic Kingdom, you're still great. I still love you.
Agreed.
The next day we went over to Disney's Hollywood Studios, got up early, and did not get our Rise of the Resistance or boarding passes, but that's okay. We were fine with it. The first thing we did when we got there, though, was
Mickey's Runaway Railway.
And Minnie's
Runaway Railway, which was really cute. I basically videotaped it while Jimmy watched it because I had seen so many POVs of it. I wanted to actually show kind of our experience on there. Sure. So, yeah, I actually really like that ride. I think it's cute. It is hard to see it over a great movie ride, though.
I'm going to say something here, everybody. Everybody hold on. Everybody's sitting down for this. There's only like 4 people still watching. Okay. So, I thought it was cute. I thought it was good. I thought it was going to be funnier than it was.
Yeah.
Because I really do like those new Mickey Mouse shorts, and I think they're so funny, so slapsticky. And maybe if I went on it again, I would be able to see some more. Maybe there's comedy in there. I don't know. It's such a weird choice to me for this ride, for Mickey's first ride to have it be this, and to have it be this dark ride, like trackless, that's got some really great sound and also movement in the vehicles themselves. I wasn't expecting it because I'm used to the old Great Movie Ride, just like these big chunky, like they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fine. I thought it was cute. I thought it was good. Maybe I'll like it more in the future. I think there's an intro part, like you said, there through the walkthrough, like they weren't doing, where the screen busts out or something. That's like a cool effect that we didn't get.
Spoiler alert. But basically, like he's saying in relation to Haunted Mansion, like you're walking straight through the queue line to get to the actual ride, so you're not seeing that pre-show. Sure. It probably got people in faster, and it is, I would say it's like a people eater ride, so you're going to be having a lot of people go on there and get through faster. I will say, though, that the line after, I'm glad we went when we did, because the line was outside and it was ridiculous.
Yeah, we got in there when it was long. Like 10 minutes, and it was about 10 minutes, but then later on it was like 60, and because they're doing most of that line outside, and a lot of the lines, especially in Hollywood Studios, was not, obviously these parks are never built for this sort of thing, but specifically Hollywood Studios, there was a lot of like cast members having to hold back a line so people could just walk through to get to the end of the line that they were getting into. So there's a lot of like cutting back and over itself with the line and stuff. Yeah. Which is really weird.
And cutting off like actual traffic, like foot traffic.
Yeah.
Where they're putting up ropes so that you can walk through to stay in the line. And I guess like I get where they're coming from. And I will say this, there was a couple times when we did have people try to like line hop in and try to get in front of other people, but Disney was like on it. They're like, no. The line starts over there. You guys got to get out of line. So that was really cool to see that happen.
I think. The cast members are all over. They're so good. And they can recognize. There's like one time back to Magic Kingdom where we're walking through like an extended outside queue for Space Mountain. And one of the cast members saw it and he was like, oh, this is kind of ridiculous. We don't need to have it like this right now. So we came and he switched it. But, so I was glad we got that one taken care of right away.
Agreed.
We also later on did Alien Swirling Saucer, which to me, honestly, is my favorite Toy Story ride. That's right. Over Slinky Dog, over Midway Mania. We didn't do either of those, and I felt nothing. I was like, that's fine. You guys can go do it. Like, Slinky Dog already has an outside queue craziness to it. And I was like, I'm not going to wait an hour plus for Slinky. No offense, Slinky. I want to ride it at night sometime. But
I would agree.
But Midway Mania, we were kind of like, we'll see. But we did One Man's Dream, which I didn't do last time, and it just felt good to do because I just needed to, like, that and Carousel Progress. I feel like I should try to do them every time. But we also did Rock and Roller Coaster.
Obviously.
Earlier on. Still great.
Yeah, we waited for a while for that. How long did we wait? Probably 35 minutes or so?
Maybe, yeah. And I was telling Katie
40.
this, too. Maybe I'm just getting old, but... that ride, my favorite part is the launch, and honestly, the rest of it, I don't really know if I need it. I almost would get off a ride if they just did the launch and they stopped me. I could get out and be like, that was great. I just love the launch. The rest of them come like, all right. Like, I love Aerosmith too. I really do. But I was like, that's fine. And we went through the regular queue for that one. We were so used to going through Fast Pass. Mm-hmm. So not really that different, but...
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then we actually took a little break and we sat down for lunch at the Sci-Fi drive-in theater. And that's when we got Rise of the Resistance passes. Yeah. Boarding group or whatever you want to call it, boarding passes. So that was pretty nice. I think after that, then what did we do in between? We did,
at some point, we also did Smuggler's Run.
Oh, we waited for Smuggler's Run, too.
I want to tell everybody right now, and maybe Katie will feel differently about this. I think Smuggler's Run is anywhere between, out of 10, maybe like a 2 or an 8, depending if you are the pilot. Because we had a family, and I didn't think they were going to do this, but they put us with a family.
They did.
And they were new, and Katie and I were engineers.
Yeah.
And I felt a little bit nauseous when it came out. I was like, oh no. Yeah. Like, we were slamming into everything when we were taking off. I was like, it's going to be a rough go.
It was fun, though, because, like, just to have that experience with people for the first time, that they're seeing it for the first time, it's just, like, the magic is so there.
Yeah, for them.
You know? Yeah, and then you can they're laughing and having a good time.
I'm just yelling at you, and I'm like, use the harpoon, Katie, use the harpoon.
Use the harpoon! I got 85% because I forgot to do the harpoon launch, but...
I got a Hondo. Hondo for Hondo. Hondo for Hondo.
He did.
But, yes, then eventually later on we did go and do Rise the Resistance.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
The hype, I think, is still so high, and we've done it now. You went and did it in Disneyland as well. So this is like your 5th time?
Yeah. I feel bad saying that, but yeah.
But after Jimmy told me about one specific thing to look for, I can't unsee it, and it's really bothering me. So they used Sigourney Weaver's body, I guess, right? From Alien or something to that effect, like the animatronic body.
For Finn. In the AT-AT room, but we didn't see that one. We might have seen a different one. The one where he's up against the wall, like this.
And he's doing okay, so anyways, it's like... the animatronic head doesn't fit on the body, kind of, and so it kind of
his Finn looks
so skinny and
there's something going on. I don't know. Yeah, and there's like an arm that's just shooting a blaster.
Yeah. I just think for the amount of money and effort that went into that, I think that they could have done a little bit more with the animatronics. Yeah. To be honest.
I hear you.
Did you ever figure out the lightsaber though? Because I can't figure that out.
I'm still trying to figure out the lightsaber thing.
Jimmy's like, what's happening?
I'm just like, what is going on here? This is complete spoilers for Rise, but I mean, if you're listening to this point, hopefully you jumped over this point. But there's a segment in the ride where a lightsaber wielder comes after you in an elevator and stabs it into the ceiling. And I don't know how they make it go through the ceiling and make it look like it's cutting through there. I would love to figure that out. But
that is a really cool effect.
In that gun room too, there was one gun thing that didn't shoot out in front of us. At one time we just kind of stopped there and it didn't move, and we were like,
oh, yep.
There's a lot of moving parts. I still respect that ride for all the things it's done, but I'll tell you this much. it's like watching a favorite movie of yours a lot of times in a row.
Yeah.
It loses a little bit for me because I know all the beats and there's nothing they could do about that. But the ride itself, the movement of it, it's not thrilling enough, like, as I've said in the past, like a Big Thunder or a Splash or Space or something like that, where you go on it for the feeling it gives you.
Yeah.
Here. Because once you know all the things that are going to happen, it's not nearly as impactful for me. Mm-hmm. Again, as Katie said, this is my 5th time riding it. This is a very privileged perspective here. Yeah, so, like, for sure. If I can come off that and be like, it's pretty good, and everybody else is freaking out, like, they still did a great job. I'm just curious to see in 5-10 years if this is going to be the same. I swear, though, if they switch it to Darth Vader in original trilogy, I will lose my freaking mind every time I go on that ride. I'll be like, Vader, kill me now! That would be very exciting for me. We waited a long time for it, too. We got there, and I was kind of hoping we were just going to walk on.
No. No, we were pretty much the entire queue.
Backed up.
Yeah,
and a lot of people in line were starting, like, people who were going for the first time were like, when is this queue going to be done? They were, like, done with the queue line. They're like, is there another room coming up? Like, when are we going to get on the ride? And I was like...
Yeah, it is. If you're going in it for the first time and you don't know where you are, it is kind of a maze. And, like, whether or not you're used to the switchbacks and stuff, like, you're kind of waiting. Like, each room, you're like, is this it? And it's not, because then you have to factor in the part where you're not just waiting in that. Then you're going into another room to wait. Then you're waiting in another line to get into another space. So there's just so many moving parts that it's like, it's a really long walking ride. This isn't meant for people like that don't want to wait.
Yeah.
You know,
it's an experience.
It is. You're fully into it. So.
I'll say this, though. Somehow Katie and I managed to skip a large portion of the line at the very end. If you guys know what we're talking about, there's a part where it splits in two right before you are... getting a talking to, as it were. I'm just going to try to dance around words here. But Katie and I went down a different path that, like, everyone else didn't go down. And so we, like, walked to the front, and we're just, like, standing there, and we're like, we're the only ones in this, like, particular line. And then they still put us somewhere. And
and I don't know if it was, like, they didn't have fast passes, right? But they had, like, VIP experience still. So I wonder if we accidentally, like, went in the VIP section, and then they didn't know the difference, because the cast members through VIP don't go on the rides. I think they might have used to do that.
Yeah.
But they don't do that anymore. So they'll bring the family that they're working with to, like, the ride line and then get them pretty much on the ride, and then you're on your own.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was just incidental or...
I'm not sure. We noticed a lot of the VIP stuff, by the way, this time. There's a lot of people renting or doing that, which has been a lot of money, but they were just going to the front of the line all the time. I will say this, though, the cast member there, later on, because I was doing a little vlogging, she was giving me a hard time for it, and I was wearing a Darth Vader shirt, and I was like, hey, I'm recording this for the First Order, and she's like, well, like, how can you prove that? And I was like, I pointed at Darth Vader, I'm like, I'm doing it for him, and she's like, he's dead, and I was like, he's alive in my heart, and then she had to kind of, like, turn around, she's like, whatever, and I was like, I won that exchange, like, I was like, yes.
Yeah, yes. But it was, I mean, again, it's worth the wait if you've never done the experience, it's worth doing, It will lose its luster after the first time, like any other ride, except for things that kind of give you that thrill you're talking about. Yeah,
like if we were going back, I don't know if I would, if it was just the two of us, I don't know if I'd be like, we need to get Rise Pass. I'd be like, we could try, that'd be great, but if not, I'm not going to be sad about it. If there were people with us who hadn't done it, I'd be like, this is really cool to have you experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Besides that, there's the Rise tangent. But do you still like it?
I do.
I like it too.
I think it's worth the ride for sure. I don't know, like you said, I don't know if I would wait that long for that ride.
It's so complicated. There's so much going on with it, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, sometimes I'm just like, I just want to ride Space Mountain. Like, I don't need to have this whole and I love Star Wars so much, but still, I'm just like, man, Darth Vader though, just let me know. Anyway, what else? We weren't going to do this, and I was thinking about it more later on, but we did Tower of Terror.
We did.
Later at the end of the day, and you know what? The more I think about it, the more I like Tower of Terror maybe as a ride more than Rock and Roller Coaster. Even though I would still probably be like, if I had to choose between, I really like Rockin', but the ride itself of Tower is just so much fun. Like, you just have a good time. You just, like, you get there and you're like, woo!
Yeah. And that was one of the ones that we got, not for long, but we got stopped going up the first chamber before you start moving forward, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. I started making jokes. Yeah.
And, we got stopped on rides quite a bit this time, which was like, we got stuck on Haunted Mansion. We got stuck on this.
Twice.
What else did we get stuck on? We got stuck on Jurassic World when we were in Universal.
Oh, yeah. There's video of that, though.
Yeah, hilarious. But it was cool. Like, we're such Disney nerds. Like, getting stuck on a ride is kind of like a treat.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like you're kind of seeing things, or like you're not used to it stopping. So you're just like, what are they going to do? You know?
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
I was like, every time I was like, evac. I'm like, let's go, evac.
So.
They didn't do it, though.
Yeah, but Tower of Terror was really fun.
Yeah, oh my gosh, so much fun. I think that's pretty much everything over in Hollywood Studios that we did. And then later that night, we did a dinner to a place we've never been to before. It'll be a full vlog on that. But it was at Shula's over at the Dolphin Resort of the Swan and Dolphin, in between Hollywood Studios and Epcot. But then we had a little bit of time after. Got 3 rides done in an hour over at Epcot.
Yeah.
Journey into Imagination with Figment. Living with the Land.
As it should be.
Seas with Nemo and Friends.
Yeah.
We just did them really quick. So that way I didn't feel like the next day I had to do as much. Which is good, because we didn't have as much time the next day.
We didn't. That's true.
Yeah, but Epcot at night. We were walking into World Showcase at like 9 o'clock, and everybody's just trying to wrap up their around the world days, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Everybody's having a good time, libations and stuff like
libations are flowing.
People are just, I saw this one lady who's like, you want to go to Germany? Germany's all the way over there. And I was like, these are the conversations that are happening at like 9 o'clock on a Saturday night?
It was a Saturday, but it felt less busy for some reason than Sunday night did, because we were there on Sunday night.
Yes, yeah, because we went back to Epcot the next day and did a bunch of stuff. And like Spaceship Earth, we did Test Track to close the night because it was such a long wait the whole day. It's kind of a low or slow loader because of social distancing, but even before that.
Yeah, for sure. It was slow.
Frozen took a while. We did Frozen Ever After.
Yes, worth it.
We also redid Living with the Land because I wanted to. I'm thankful for that.
It was good.
And then you wanted to do Mission Space, but I was like, we should go to Mission Space instead of Test Track. You're like, no, we're doing Test Track. And I'm like, okay.
We needed to do Test Track because Jimmy really wanted to do that.
We didn't. So. It wasn't open last time.
It wasn't. Like, that's true. And Mission Space will be there.
We didn't do Three Caballeros. There was a line to get into the Mexico Pavilion.
That was wild.
Earlier in the day, and we're like, we'll come back maybe.
Yeah, we walked around and we just kind of took in the pavilions for a while and like looked in the shops and had some drinks and like just hung out, and that was really nice just to kind of take it chill. Yeah, went to Italy, went to Germany, went to Japan. I love Japan. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. Katie thought I saw there was somebody from Japan there, and it was a native Japanese speaker. So she saw me, and I looked over, I was like, konnichiwa, and she's like, oh, her face, she's like, konnichiwa, and I went back to talk to her, and Katie was like, so, I was like, no, I just wanted to use my 5 known words in Japanese with somebody because I was like, thank you for being here. Yeah. I was like, oh, thank you. I love that. And Marco from Italy, he was our bartender. Yeah, he was great. Very nice. I was like, Marco, nice to meet you. You know what I mean? Well, and we went to Le Cellier, which is in a little bit of a vlog of its own, right? Yes. So we won't talk too much about that, but we did go to... Why can't I remember the name of it? The Canada... Oh, Canada Far and Wide. Jimmy was not a fan. All right. Did not like the new stuff. I'm so sorry. I feel like this is me talking more than you. Negative. Which I'm sorry. I don't want to be negative about this. But you have Eugene Levy, and they're both from Schitt's Creek. I'm so sorry. I don't know the other person. Catherine, I think, something or other. I can't remember her name. The parents from Schitt's Creek. They are the new narrators for the Canadian Pavilion. And in the past, we've had Martin Short. I don't remember who was beforehand, but Canada is a big... They export comedians. That's kind of one of their bigger exports, weirdly. And I thought, man, this show's going to be funny, like the Martin Short one. They had one joke in it, and it hurt my heart so much because this seemed like so much more of like Canada, we're going to break it up for you into 5 different parts, and here's the first part, and here's the second part. And I was like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. But thank goodness somebody somewhere said keep the ending, which is the Canada part, which I would have been distraught because that's the best part. And also some of this new footage, a lot of it, I'm sorry, this tangent will be over soon, but a lot of the new footage was
tilted cameras. It was like the 360, but it was tilted so you were like looking down at a city. But if you turned around, you're looking up at the sky. And I was like, no. I was like, I was like, you're gonna, please. Canada's so pretty and so good. And all I thought was, I missed the Martin Short one. I don't care how dated that one, because it's funny. Martin Short was really good. And I missed that. And I don't know if it was like a licensing thing or if they had to pay him every year to do it. But I thought this was fine. It was okay. I just I missed so much that the jokes that were so much fun. They even joke about the France film over there. Like, I don't know. It was fine. I'm just glad the ending was still there, because I was like, if they take out Canada, my Canada, I'm gonna lose it. And I was like, I love that song so much. It's such a boppity bop, you know.
Just a boppity bop bop bop.
Anyway, but we didn't go to France or China for their movies or anything like that. I know they're doing a new Beauty and the Beast sing along over there, but I also didn't want to go over. I want to wait to see the whole France Pavilion when that's all open, because I think Ratatouille is ready to go. They just want to have something to open.
Yeah, we were like told by a cast member. They're like, yeah, it's ready to go. They're just waiting until the 50th anniversary or whatever.
For October 1st for Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, which is great. I understand it. At the same time, though, I'm like, oh yeah, Epcot was not open like on the 50th. So like Tron, I'm not sure if it will be done by then. Maybe, but I think they wanted to be like, all right, we're gonna have at least one thing to show. Yeah, totally makes sense. I understand, but I was like, oh, I just want to see Ratatouille at night when it's functioning.
Yeah, especially at night. I think.
But even with Epcot having all the construction and stuff, which some of those walls, Epcot's in a little bit of a state right now, because we're like, you have to maneuver around through these big wooden walls and stuff. It's still great. I love it. Also, side note, I forgot to ask you, what did you think of the new Harmonious barges that are out on the World Showcase?
They definitely detract from like the original beauty that's there. Like, you can't see past them a lot, so I'm hopeful that they'll figure something out, but it's just, they're huge.
They're gonna spout water during the day.
Okay.
So that might help a little bit, but yeah, maybe. Right now it looks a little intense.
It looks intense, and you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, it's just like,
really
whoa,
is the case.
Yeah, but yeah, Epcot, I still love it.
That's my favorite park out of all of them.
Epcot's still so great.
There's so much stuff to do there, but
we didn't do Soarin'.
Oh, we did not.
I'm sorry. Last time I rode it was over in California, and it was Soarin' over California. I personally like the original.
I do too.
The new one's fine. I always laugh at the Eiffel Tower because it's always bending.
Yes.
But we kept seeing the wait for that be at least 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And really funny to run into the Land Pavilion and be like, yeah, we're going on the best ride here, and then go on Living with the Land, where there's like walk on.
Yeah.
And like the cast member's like, what is happening? I'm just like, woohoo, Living with the Land. They're like. They probably thought I was drunk, but I wasn't. I was just like, drunk on Live with Land. I was like,
Live with Land.
I was like, let me go around one more time.
Let's go.
But yeah, Epcot was great.
Yeah.
And then finally, Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, last day.
We went on safari right when we got there, pretty much, and we ended up waiting probably 20 minutes. I think we were like 10 or 15 minutes past park open by the time we got there.
Maybe.
I think it was like 8:15, and it opened at 8. So we got in there, luckily, in enough time before the line was, like, really long.
Sure.
And then
cool morning. Though we had, like, some lions, and the lions were hooting and hollering and stuff.
Oh, man, that was so cool.
Yeah, we had some pretty cool stuff on safari. Hopefully you guys will see it in the vlogs coming up. But, yeah. But then, yeah, we went... After that, we decided to head over towards...
We did Dinosaur then.
Yeah, we went over to Dinosaur, and we did it not once, not twice, but thrice, baby. Oh, yeah. It was so good.
Oh, it was so sad, though. Oh, my gosh. So
Do you want to tell him? Do you want to tell him what happened?
Sure. So basically, there's a part in the ride where the Carnotaurus is kind of like chasing after you. There's an animatronic. And we're like waiting, and it's like loss of traction. So we're waiting for this huge part. It's like, to me, is like one of the biggest elements of that ride.
Yeah.
And he's down. Like, he has a head in the bushes. Like, there is no body. There is no movement. It's just a Carnotaurus head. Like, just mounted in the bushes. There's nothing happening. So, I don't know if that's going to... Jimmy's, like, crying. Like,
rest in peace, you beautiful son of a gun.
Yeah, like, we don't know if this is coming back or if this is just what happened now and this is the new the head in the bushes.
It's got to be just down and they're fixing it or something, because that's just it
looked.
And the thing is, it's not even at the right height. It's like near the ground. Like it's just
you got to be like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, you're like, it's weird. A lot of the rides this time, I think we're looking like maybe. I don't know. Some of them
rough.
are looking a little in a state. I will say this though: when we got off the first ride, which we ever did, was Big Thunder Mountain on this trip. I was like, "That's looking pretty good."
Yeah,
even though apparently it's going down for refurb, which means they're going to put that dynamite ending at the end. Just wait for it and calling it now. But some of the other rides, I was kind of looking around. I was like, even Haunted Mansion, and it's supposed to look that way, I think. But I was kind of looking around. I was like, I could use a couple of sprucey loosies, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, we can probably spruce it up. Because Disneyland's just got to spruce up with lighting and everything there. Because we were in the Haunted Mansion, and it reminded me of our time in the queue line for Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, where it's just like, it's so dark, you're like, I can't, there's nothing. Like, I can't, I could be going past anything. I'm like, Yeah, but
there's some allure to that, though, I think,
sure.
like, to leave it so dark. And I think that the theming, lighting is super important, especially in those rides, like dark rides. So there was a couple parts in Haunted Mansion, too, that I was like, oh, okay, I can see everything that's happening.
Oh, you could see too much.
You could see, like, the strings and stuff where Madame Leota is and stuff. So
oh, sure. That's always been kind of an issue.
That's kind of been an issue, yeah, because you want to see things floating, not necessarily on fishing line. Yeah.
But anyway, so Dinosaur, besides that, was fine. The head it did make me sad. But I did, for the first time, I looked it up. Sorry, I knocked the mic there. But I found out that on our pictures from Dinosaur, I finally found out where the camera is on that ride, because I was looking right at it.
Were you?
So I finally found it. I was just like, I found you. So I was like, yes, rock on. Dinosaur is still probably my favorite. Love it so much. We also did Expedition Everest. We did that one time. Pretty good. And it ended just at the right time, I think, too. Like, I was... in the past, I felt like sometimes it goes on just a little too long for me. Like, when you're... I don't know. That backwards portion, man. I get so many people love it. I
like the backwards portion. I didn't get sick on that part, but there's a part where we were talking about where it starts to go back up at some point after you go down this huge drop. And
it's like a banking turn.
Ooh, I was nauseous. I'm nauseous thinking about it, but it was good.
Disco Yeti was there in all its glory, all his glory.
Oh, we got stuck on that ride too. We were waiting on the loading. Yeah.
Yes, which does happen sometimes. Yeah, we were stuck up on the top with the little silhouette moment.
Yeah.
Which it's cool to be up there, because I always think, I'm like, oh, it's cold up here. It's like interesting. We're up really high, like things like that. I'm like, oh, where are we? Like, So I like being stuck up there. I'm like, okay, like evac. No, that'd be a lot. That'd be a lot of evac.
Yeah, for sure.
But what else? We didn't do either of the rides in Pandora because they were both really long, and we were just kind of like, we didn't have a lot of time during that day. It was kind of more like a half day for us. But, so we didn't do Flight of Passage or Navi River Journey. Maiwa. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. We also didn't do Festival of the Lion King. I know it's kind of back right now in kind of a limited capacity. We just, again, not a lot of time.
Yeah, it was
great show.
Time.
Great show. What else do we do? You didn't want to do It's Tough to Be a Bug. You were like, no.
No, we kind of went through some of the shops. I found a couple things for my little guy, and then we went and tried some food after we had lunch. Probably like an hour after that, we went to Pandora and tried like the cheeseburger bao bun and a drink and some other stuff. So, which,
by the way, Night Blossom, incredible. I hate boba usually, but man, the boba there, I was like, oh my gosh, pretty lit. That whole drink was like, wow. I was like, whoa. Like just
and the mousse thing that we had was really good too.
Oh yeah, the straw.
We were calling it blueberry mousse something.
Cream cheese. That mousse. Like it's like this got this kind of sheen to it. It's like a little orb almost. Yeah, but we also did eat at Yak and Yeti, which will be another video too. Yak and Yeti. I don't want to. It's the healthiest meal I had all trip.
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of my new favorite in all of Disney right now. And it's not even technically Disney owned. It's Landry's.
Yeah, but, it was really good.
We had a really great server. Shout out to Joe. Also Wanda at Le Cellier. She was great too. But Joe was like my guy. Had some really good chicken. Had a mango pie. Katie had some duck.
I did.
Oh man, it was great. We had a kind of a bad spot too. We were sitting at like a two top, as it were, and it was like right next to the stairs.
Yeah.
So like
it was like an added table. It wasn't necessarily probably meant to be there.
Yeah.
Which was fine.
But that whole restaurant is so cool. Like, you walk around it and it's so well themed. I was like, oh, Yak and Yeti, because I don't think of a lot of sit-down places in Animal Kingdom. Kind of like Magic Kingdom, but they are there. They're just kind of tucked away.
You have to kind of find out where the good places are to eat and then go eat there.
Yeah. So out of all the rides and the restaurants, if you could pick like one or two that were your favorite this time. Just this time. Not in general.
Oh, man. Rides. Ooh, boy. Why don't you go first? Give me a minute.
Splash Mountain was great. They didn't have the jet going off when you go up that kind of second lift hill, so we got spared on that. Man, it was just a fun go. I was like, man, this ride is just, it's cracking, man. It's so good. So I'm glad the bones of that ride will remain no matter what happens, I believe, because it'd be so much work to change all that. But, so that, man... Tower of Terror was really fun. It's the first time I haven't like vlogged on Tower of Terror in a long time. I was like, I'm just putting the camera away and I was just enjoying it. And I was like, I usually sit in the seat next to the wall so I can grip the side. But I sat next to Katie and we sat kind of in the middle and I was like without restraints besides the seatbelt. And I was just like, just having fun. So that was good.
I had to hold on to my bag because the bag was like lifting up into the air. I'm like, oh, I should probably put that down here.
So good.
Okay, so what about food?
Food for me, man, Yak and Yeti was so good. And Le Cellier.
Really? Okay.
Le Cellier was really nice just because we were late for a reservation, but they were able to bring it back up, and it was just nice to go there. And going from Shula's to Le Cellier, and I tried both the fillets there. Very lucky to do so. Mm-hmm. But, man, it just reinforced my love of Le Cellier, and it's not just people just saying, oh, yeah, everybody loves Le Cellier, you should go Le Cellier, or whatever. I'm like... Yeah. No, Le Cellier is still legit, and the pretzel bread's great, and it's cold and dark in there, and it's just chill, and everybody's kind of like, even like the families are kind of like the kids even know, they're like, oh, I should be quiet in here, and I'm just like, oh, baby, here we go. So, I love Le Cellier so much. So yeah, I had a great time there. That was good. How about you?
I'm gonna say the Tiki Room.
Tiki Room.
I enjoyed the whole thing. Like, in the past, I've gone on that ride and been like, okay, I'm done. You know, after, like, the first or second song, I'm like, blah. But I think just, like, I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. And then Yak and Yeti was my favorite place that we ate.
Cool.
It was really good. The duck was really good. There was some nice vegetables, like seasonal vegetables, and some jasmine rice with it. And Joe kept giving me cups of Joe, so that was really good. Nice. So there wasn't too much to complain about there. It was just really good. He
let me sub out it was coconut ginger rice with just like some chicken fried rice on like underneath my chicken. I was like, oh, it's great. And I had like, it was a mango pineapple salsa on there.
Yeah.
Then we also got the mango pie, which I mentioned, but I didn't mention. It came with
so good.
Mango bits, strawberry bits, mango drizzle, and raspberry drizzle.
Yep.
Get the mango pie. It was like one slice, but it was like thick. You know, I don't know, or it's rich, I should say. It was really. It's like rich. Key lime pie, but mango.
Yeah.
It's so good. If you like key lime pie and mango, it's,
so good.
But Living with the Land, not so much. Not coming up on the list here.
You said like my favorite this trip. But Living with the Land, I think too.
I feel like
it was so. We would go on that ride and we sat down and I just was like, oh. It's so calm in here. Like, there's no one here. It's quiet. It's cool. Yeah. It's nice. And it was at night. That was my favorite.
Well, the second time we rode it, the next day, there were some guys in front of us, so we had to sit, like, in the second or third row, and then we had, like, the big, like...
the plastic or whatever.
Barriers, and so it was kind of hard to see. Yeah. But that first time we were there, it was, like, just... oh, man.
Yeah.
I love that. It's, like, Living with the Land, Carousel of Progress, and... what was another one? I thought you had like 2 or 3 that were like your go-to rides, and this time you were kind of apathetic to them. You're like,
oh, and the People Mover was great this time too.
Oh, People Mover is just, gosh, it's amazing.
Oh my gosh, I think I just really like took it for its face value, and then thought about all of the extra added things that go into making those rides and just why they did it.
Yeah.
So it's good people watching for sure.
Yeah, People Mover still pretty great. I'm so glad it was up and running while we were there.
Me too.
Also, you had some snacks this trip.
I did.
Any favorite snack?
I can't remember what I
don't remember what they are. We tried some caramel stuff in Germany.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought the caramel bar was pretty good. Or the salted caramel bar thing, the Chris
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things, and I don't know where you have it, but we got the orange bird drinks, and those were like push pops.
Yeah, they're over the Citrus Blossom booth over like when you're walking out of in Epcot from Future World to World Showcase. It's just like right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got some orange bird sippy cups, which were pretty great.
They're really cute.
Yeah, they're super cute.
Super
I was
cute.
like, I have a very soft spot in my heart for orange bird for some reason. I think a lot of people do, but yeah, I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just for a little bit of bonus, just a little brief thing here. Katie was alluding to it earlier, Universal Studios Hollywood. Again, fully vaccinated. So we went from California to Florida. We're fully vaccinated. We're good people.
Good people.
I feel bad about it. But anyway.
We stayed away from people.
But what did you think of it? Because now I've been there twice. You've been there once.
I think I would like to see a different Universal.
Sure.
Because it's bigger and there's more to do.
Yes. This park is very small. It's built on a mountain.
We got everything that we wanted to get done, I think, for the most part. Maybe minus one or two things.
I think we did. The only thing we didn't really do was the Simpsons ride.
Yeah. I was talking about the shows.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the shows were all, like, there was two of them that were down.
I wanted to see Waterworld, but they weren't doing it. So.
Oh, Waterworld's so good. Yeah, that's if you saw that, you'd be like, this is like a Disney level. You'd be like, yeah. Like,
and that's funny because we had talked about that. Like, Jurassic World there is incredible. We went on that 3 times. Mm-hmm. One of the times we waited over an hour and 10 minutes, I think.
Like an hour and a half.
Yeah, and it was worth it. Like, it was really worth it. It was so good.
It's so good. Jurassic World is so good. It's so much better now because it was bad. It was in like this technical rehearsal for a while where they were still doing some things. They're kind of fixing some of the scenes and, changing some things. Yeah. And so they weren't in the best state. But now it's like sings.
I think we both were surprised the first time we went on it because we both have watched POV videos of it, and there was some stuff in there that we had never seen. So we're like, "Whoa, that's crazy!
Yeah,
how is it possible?" So
that's so good. I want to ride it at night. Oh, my lord,
so good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. So I'm glad you enjoyed it too. Yeah, that was probably your favorite thing there.
Yeah.
Besides,
Mummy.
You liked Mummy a lot. Mummy's good.
Mummy was.
Mummy kicks.
Intense. I was like, okay. I asked the lady, I'm like, can I wear my glasses on this? She's like, you should be fine. And I'm like, halfway through, I'm like, please don't fall off my face.
Yeah, we couldn't film on there, but even if we could.
You wouldn't see anything. You just hear screaming.
Yeah,
maybe some wild lights. I don't know.
The audio wouldn't be family friendly. All I could hear is just like the screaming from Imhotep and the mummies and Katie's just like, like. It was crazy. Oh, I really want to go on Mummy in Florida.
Yeah.
Because I think maybe that's some of the limitations where it's more comparable between Disney and Universal is in their Florida parks.
Yeah.
Because here it's not really as fair to compare them because it's so much smaller and they don't have as much room to dedicate to that sort of thing. But the tram tour is really cool.
Yeah.
And that's something that's unique.
Yeah, and I liked Forbidden Journey, but I got sick at the end. Jimmy was having a rough go.
I knew we were gonna go. I was like, oh man, we're new for I don't like that ride. It's sad because Harry Potter is such an iconic and it's a phenomenon, right? Like it is. I just wish we could have made a better ride for people of all ages and dispositions to enjoy it because it is so rough, and I get what they're trying to do, but I'm like, you could have made the craziest dark ride of all time if you didn't put it on a cherry picker and put it on the side of that cherry picker. I looked at it again this time just to double check. It's a cherry picker. I looked at it, I was like, that's cherry picker. Like, it was, I
don't know. I liked it. I thought it was good. I didn't like some of the screens, and I think that's what got me sick. The cherry picker did not get me sick at all. If I would have shut my eyes, I would have been fine. I thought the Dementors looked insane in not a good way. They're like these just random
it's hard because you can see
scarecrows.
You can see the pole or like the metal arm that they're on.
His roof.
You also didn't like the fact that there's like a dragon that's on animatronic. It's just kind of there. It's like
it's just a huge sculpture kind of, or like I don't even know what you would call it.
I've ridden that ride now 3 or 4 times, and this was finally the time that I understood that sequence before the dragon pops up is like the dragon is attacking you on the bridge and it's ripping apart. I I've never known that before. I was trying to figure out the storyline this time because I was like, every time I read this, I'm just like, it's just Harry Potter. It's like,
it's Harry Potter.
Like,
Yeah, I got sick during Quidditch. That's what got me.
I think Quidditch is rough. Like, it gets bad there, and it's just,
like, come on. And I'm like,
that ride, it attempts to do so much, but the queue line is so incredible.
Yeah,
it's so good. I just wish more of the ride, I could enjoy it and see it, because I know there's so much good stuff in there. It's just the way in which they have you in this machine is just, it's not conducive to a fun thematic experience. So
yeah.
But anyway, so that was Universal. Also, you got a Duff beer.
I did.
And was it worth $15?
No.
Okay.
Okay. It's a mixture, or they maybe made their own. It was not my preference per beer, so it was good to try it though.
But did you like the park overall?
Yeah, I had a good time. I thought it was fun.
Secret Life of Pets was actually pretty adorable. It was pretty cute.
It was really cute,
yeah. It was nice to see a lot of animatronics in a ride. I was like, oh,
there was a lot.
Besides Jurassic World, I think it had more than any.
That I've ever seen. Yeah.
And they had a queue line that reminded me a little bit of Peter Pan.
Yeah, very similar.
Going through the house and stuff. You had to go upstairs. I thought it was interesting. That whole ride, I think, was like upstairs.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and that music, that theme song is stuck in my head.
I know.
Also, I forget how much I love Despicable Me until I go see Minion Mayhem or something like that. Did you like that ride?
Yeah, I did.
That is how Simpsons is, as we talked about. You're like in these little things and they kind of lift up and they move around and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, we're in a theater. And I'm like, cool. Why do we have to wear these little, or whatever, it goes over your, I don't know. Anyways, it lifted up and I was surprised.
She was like, whoa, this is cool. Then we got the ride. She's like, yeah, it's fine. She's easily impressed in the first few moments. And then she's like, yeah, I want to kind of know this. So Jurassic World, Mummy, Secret Life of Pets, maybe your favorites?
Yeah.
Tram Tour didn't really hold it for you?
I like the tram tour.
I like it too. I think I was blown away by it the first time I did it because there's so much, but I was kind of expecting all this stuff this time.
Yeah.
I tried to get Katie with the subway portion, but she wasn't buying it.
I already saw that on a POV.
Yeah, she probably did. Yeah. I think it's so cool. I like that. I like just driving around the movie slots. I just want to hop off, be like Steven Spielberg back in the day. But I won't do it. Everybody stay on the tram. Stay on the tram. Please stay on the tram. You saw Jaws.
I know. I took some pictures of the big boy.
But you didn't see Norman Bates.
I know, that was a letdown because I'd seen that in the past and I was like, oh, I was looking forward to it, and then he didn't come out.
They have a cutout of him in the window.
I think just because of social distancing and because of the pandemic, they probably are not having a live actor do that. Maybe they were. I don't know.
Might have been a cutback too. I don't know if that was the... Or maybe he was just out for lunch.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'll come back later. Like, we just... The tram tours just keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, would you go back to Universal Studios Hollywood?
I would. It was fun. I think there's enough that I enjoyed there, and there's more things that I didn't get to do that I'd like to try out. So, but
it feels kind of like you can do most all of it in a day.
Yeah,
for the most part, because there's not a lot. There's not until Super Nintendo Land comes. If that comes and it's like there's Mario Kart and a Yoshi's Dark Ride, yeah, that might turn into a park that is a big day or 2 days. Maybe. Yeah. I'm really interested to see how big that actually is.
Yeah,
because it's there, it's looming. Oh, by the way, Transformers. I think you'd like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I probably would like
We gotta go to Islands of Adventure.
Transformers kind of whipped me around a little bit. I got a little nauseous on that. So.
Kitty's like freaking evac over here. Just anyway, but yeah, so that was our trip kind of in a nutshell. Kind of fast, but if you guys have any follow-up questions about it, please let us know. But like I said, the vlogs will be coming out starting with Universal Studios Hollywood. And then down the line, when we get to them, we'll get to the parks down in Florida. All that stuff, which again, kind of a crazy trip. We hadn't planned on doing Universal originally, but
nope.
But it kind of came up, and it was we were out there for business, and we had some time to go kick it, hang out a little bit. It was good.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, Katie, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime.
Well, thank you. Well, anytime. Excellent. Katie's our new co-host. No, I'm just kidding. Bye, Joe. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. But yes, thank you for everybody who's tuned in today, and a special thank you to our patrons who help make this show possible. If you want to donate any of your time and money over to our Patreon, please check it out down the links below. We also have a Teespring.
Yes.
Or you can get some merchandise, all that stuff. We have an Instagram and a TikTok where Katie's been posting. Well, Instagram mostly. We'll be posting more things over time of our pictures of our trip. And then maybe some TikTok stuff if I remember to clip things out for her to put onto TikTok.
Yes.
So, yes. But either way, thank you for just donating your time here to listening to the show. And let us know how we can make it better in the future. Just leave us a comment. If you can't do anything else, just leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes. Thank you for coming.
Yes. And until next time, just remember to adapt and...
overcome!
Bye-bye!
Don't know what we're doing.
And...